In today's client spotlight, we're speaking with Malte Klinkenberg out of Germany, who is a health and weight loss coach. And he's going to share with us what his experience was like using the SMA approach to heal and let go of very deep-seated childhood trauma. And he was holding on to this for years, and he had sought treatment using the more conventional or traditional styles of therapy with various practitioners. And he's going to share with us some of the core distinctions between that and the SMA approach, and how finally letting go and doing this inner healing work enabled him to move forward and build his coaching business. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, my name is Malte. I'm from Germany. I'm 33 years old, and I'm a health and weight loss coach.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What attracted you into SMA? What kind of mindset challenges were you dealing with at the time?
I knew that I had a lot of problems from my childhood with a lot of trauma, and that is something that I feel like if you're watching this interview, you probably saw other ones, but my special point of view is that I had a lot of bad experiences in my family life, and basically people like messing up my mindset like since I was born and everything. And even though I was working against it, and even though I was working hard, I could tell that I had a lot of like weight dragging me down and everything, and a lot of things were a lot harder than they needed to be because I had this fight with myself. And actually the thing I talked to you about, Zach, was that I was like really nervous to ask questions in coaching programs and to ask for the help, even though I did pay for it. And it was like such a fight to convince myself that it's okay to ask questions and it's okay to need help, that you said, yeah, if you need to fight this fight every time you put yourself out there, it's going to take you so much longer and everything. And that's why I started to do the program with you.
Yeah, so it was really about stepping out of your shell into a new confident version of yourself.
Yeah, and like the whole power versus force thing, like my whole life I used power. I used it so much, and it's actually I did accomplish like a lot, and it's incredible how much I was able to accomplish at the place I was at, but my health was suffering, and it was so tough. It was so much work and so much harder than it needed to be. And I saw other people just being able to just flow through it.
So you mean force? You were in the levels of force.
I was in, yeah, I'm sorry. I was in the level of force. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so because you were in force, business, life in general was more challenging.
Yeah, it was really hard. And I didn't like accept my faith. I always wanted to move up, but it was always pushing, and I could feel myself like fighting so many times. It was in different areas of my life before. Like, for example, I was training martial arts, and so many times when I went to the training, my mind was like, everybody hates you. And I had to like convince myself that that's not true. And I knew it wasn't true, but I felt it, and it felt like the truth was that everybody hates me. And I was just trying to convince myself. And every time when I had moments where I was winning or where I was confident, I would fall off like super easily. Somebody could just make a comment, and then I would drop down to my baseline, which was really bad.
Right. So we're talking about like self-esteem issues, self-confidence, things like this.
That a lot. And I did try the whole approach with like changing your outside, having successes and everything. And I realized that this wasn't helping. Like, for example, I became a martial arts instructor, and I always thought like, then I'm going to feel confident. And it was a tough goal to accomplish, like probably one of the toughest I did in my life. And I didn't feel any better. I actually kind of even felt worse because I didn't feel any better and everything. And that really showed me that I need to work on my inside, and that there's nothing on the outside I can do that will help me to solve this problem.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What have been your biggest changes, your biggest transformations inside the program? What have you noticed the most?
Oh, like what I noticed the most is like from the people around me, they told me that I got a lot more chill and a lot happier. And I was always like trying to work everything out, you know, I was trying to control everything. And it was really such a struggle. And right now I'm able to finally to let go, you know, and to kind of like trust in myself, trust in life. And I know that things will work out, you know. And before, let's say I would go on a trip, then I would plan like everything out, you know, then I'm going to talk to this person, then we'll be there. I need to do this and this could happen. And I would look out for all those possible problems that could happen. I would prepare. And now I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm trusting that things will work out, and they do work out like so much. It's like crazy, pretty much. And one thing I notice a lot is with timing. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's the weekend, and I want to meet up with somebody or with two people. So the first one's like, let's meet Saturday, and then the next one calls me, and it's like, yeah, okay, let's meet Sunday. You know, and with all those little things, like there's this thing in the movie The Secret where they talk about parking spots, that you find the parking spot, and that's something that's really hard in my town. And I get those parking spots like crazy. And I can even tell, like when I'm like in a bad state and I'm always thinking and analyzing, then I kind of already know that I won't get a parking spot. And if I'm super chill about it, then I will. And yeah, it happened a lot. Like also in my family life, things I felt I needed from people or wanted from people, they I would let it go, and either I realized that I really didn't need it, or I would just get it like out of the blue. It's really crazy. So it feels like yeah, my life is more aligned, you know. I'm just going with the flow, and things are happening that are supposed to happen. Some things that I'm able to see now that they were meant for me, and that they were actually really good. Like, for example, this program, it was just the perfect timing, you know. And yeah, so timing, I would say that's like the biggest thing for me.
Like evolving into a level of flow, getting
Yeah,
into flow with life.
yeah, exactly. And just finally like trusting in life, you know, because you always, there's so many possible problems ahead, you know. And before in my life, it was like I saw these problems and people convinced me that nothing would happen, and then it did happen, and that made me really look for problems everywhere. And that also made me not appreciate the moment and all the nice things that are happening right now, you know. And I had this feeling before in my life where it was like, this was a phase in my life that I didn't appreciate back then, you know. And so I feel like in 10 years, I will have so many other things going on. And then I'll think back on this time and be like, yeah, it was so nice, just me and my girlfriend in our little world. And everything was just starting and we were learning. And yeah, I'm really able to appreciate that now.
That's amazing, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what you've done, how you approach this kind of change work before in the past, before joining SMA, because you've been involved in different types of therapy and programs.
Yeah.
How have you approached these challenges, these mindset blocks before? And what was your experience like doing that compared to SMA, the SMA approach?
Yeah, okay. So the first thing I did was just the goal setting, the like, I will do this by then, and thinking if I have this or do this, then I'll be happy. You know, if I date a pretty girl, then I'll be happy. If I lost all this weight, then I'll be happy. So this didn't work. Then I did my first therapy, which was a really bad experience, because in this therapy it was basically yeah, stop partying as much and study for university, and as long as you confirm with society, then you're fine, you know. So that wasn't too good. And then I did a really long therapy for like 6 years, and it was really crazy, because it was really good to have somebody to talk to and somebody to listen to and to work through all of it. It felt like like she didn't know the answers either. She was just listening and appreciating the struggle I was going through and everything. But yeah, this didn't help too much either, to be honest. And I felt kind of lost, you know, because I have a lot of like really bad stories from my family life and stuff. And I could even tell like it was even tough for my therapist to hear all that, you know. And then you're kind of like, okay, I'm so sorry that listening to my life story is so horrible that you can't take it anymore, you know. And then I started doing trauma and release work when I heard about it, and I started reading books like Letting Go, Levels of Energy, and everything. But yeah, there it was just like experiencing all this trauma again and trying to let it go. But it was more in a way that you just experienced it and hoped it would let go. It felt like, let's say if you want to like work out or something, it would be like just do sports, you know, and you're doing sports and it's better than not doing anything, but it's not like too much on point. There isn't much of a structure, you know. It was like get yourself in situations that trigger you and then try to let go of the emotion, but it wasn't it wasn't as much on point. That's the best way I could say it, you know, because before you're just watching content, or if you're like reading a book, getting the information, you don't know if what you're doing is any good, you know. It's probably not bad, but it's like, I don't know, if you would train martial arts from watching movies about, you know, then you don't know your posture right because you can't see yourself from the outside.
Yeah, great points. I think one of the main distinctions between SMA and when you compare it to whether it be conventional approaches or other
Yeah,
maybe similar types of coaching programs is that we take these very high level advanced spiritual teachings and concepts and bring it down, distill it down to a very simple and easy to understand and simple to apply.
yeah,
Your life, right?
that's
So
really important.
yeah, so you're able to actually understand why you experience life in the way that you do, how these traumas and these problems are stored in your unconscious mind, and then a simple and step-by-step approach to releasing and healing that which you've identified.
Yeah, and it's also because for me, like I've got a lot, like it's really a lot, you know. And then it's kind of, you get discouraged maybe after a while, you know, and you feel like maybe giving up. And that's something also hearing the other people like success stories and seeing also other people having similar issues and struggles, you know, the whole support group and everything. And one thing I want to say too, when you compare it to like conventional psychotherapy, for me, psychotherapy felt like it's just supposed to make you go back to work and be able to be a consumer and pay taxes again and to just shut up about it, you know, because that's, yeah, as long as you don't talk about it, and then you get, maybe if it's really bad, they give you some pills so you sleep again and everything. But it's really suppressing, that all you do is suppressing, which a lot of people like still do with like alcohol and TV. And something I realized I was doing too, so much with like food and PlayStation and all these other things. So that's really different. It's like kind of freeing myself from it for the first time, and not just suppressing it and not trying to handle the fact that I'm traumatized, you know. And the whole thing with you said in the program too, like you're not broken, you know. And before I felt like I was broken, and I was trying to find a way to work with my broken self, and I was doing like okay, I was figuring out ways, but it was never letting go of the trauma and like standing up straight again and being okay again, you know.
Yes. Well said, Malte. Do you feel like you've found a way to effectively break through and let go of these traumas now?
Like 100%. Like I can seriously say that SMA has been like one of the best things that has ever happened to me in my life, maybe like the most important thing in my life, because I saw what it did to my dad. He had a lot of trauma issues too, and he was always trying to think himself out of it. And without this program, I probably would have just done the trauma work that I did, maybe read something again here and there, but I would have always fallen off again, you know? And now I feel like I know what I need to do. I still know that I have a lot of like work to do, but I know what I have to do. And also it is so much faster than I expected, you know, because I felt like I knew what I was signing up for, and I knew what trauma work is. And then you teach your approach, and it's so much faster, you know. It's if you go on a diet and you're expecting to drop like 2 pounds, 2 pounds a month, and then all of a sudden you drop 4 to 6, you know, and then you have to then for me, my ego jumped back in. It's like, oh, it's too much. You have to slow down for some reason. And then it's so helpful to have somebody to talk to, you know, and also to sometimes for me, it's like you make progress and you don't know that you're making progress. I saw this with other people in the program too. You know, they're doing the work and they're like, yeah, but this and this and this. And it's like, you're doing fine. You need just to keep going, let go, trust in it, and you're getting better. And then they did see it. And I feel like they would have also quit. You know, so many people would quit without you. And that's something I appreciate so much about you and the way you do the program and the calls and the whole program and the group, because you can really tell too that it's really high value people who really want to work on themselves. You know, it's not, if somebody's like, yeah, I want to dabble around in it a little bit, like he wouldn't be fit for the program. And that's something that I really value too, that they're really smart and really dedicated people. And it is so so high level, you know. It's like when I watched the replays, I was like, oh my God, this is so smart, and it is really so good, and we're all understanding it because you're able to explain those things in such a clear, minimalistic way, you know. Like when Bruce Lee, when he taught martial arts, he always said it like really simple, you know. It's like all these fancy techniques and you can do this and this. Yeah, you just need to punch him in the face, you know, which is like really small way to say it, you know. And yeah, with all this fancy blah, because you need from like all the information there is, you only need a part of it, and of this part you only need a certain part of it at the place you are at this moment. And you're really good at giving people the exact amount of information they need, and also like they can handle too, you know. It's like, because sometimes it's like too much, and that's something I realized talking to you, and when I saw you talking to other people, like you can really tell. It's like, okay, this much, it's okay, and now it's like, okay, you need to go further in the program, and then we can revisit, and then is the right amount of information, and people don't get overwhelmed so much.
Yeah. Yes, great point. I love also that you brought up the fact that we have a very specific kind of student or member inside the program. We really do our best to ensure that everyone is a right fit for this work, because this is a very serious transformation, a journey of transformation that you're embarking on when you join the program. And so we want to make sure that we're bringing in those that are actually ready for this kind of inner work.
Yeah, exactly. And also people like you're sharing really personal stuff in this program, you know, so you need to feel comfortable with the people in the program, and because everybody like who's in the call is listening to it, and it always feels really good. And it did feel for me really good, which is like I talked about stuff I barely talked to other people about, you know. I shared things with like, especially with you, like really, it was really fast that I felt like I could talk to you honestly. It was like like my body said it's okay to talk to you, but then it's the same feeling in the call. You can tell everybody feels this way, and it's super supportive, you know. And I even printed out parts of the chat, you know, where people were like, oh, Malte's energy is changing, is anybody else seeing that? And everybody's like, yeah, so much. And that made me just so smile, and it was so happy about it that I actually printed it out. And yeah, my girlfriend gave me the same feedback as well. She says it's so incredible how much I'm changing. And I could say that maybe we're working together for like 3 months now, and I made like more progress than I did in a year of work by myself, like definitely. And I know how much progress I made, because before I didn't know like how to measure it, and I couldn't see it really.
Yeah, you've made incredible shifts, man. And you owe it to yourself for being so coachable and compliant in the program, taking action on what you are guided to do. That's what it all comes down to. You are the variable.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you really know what you're talking about, you know, because this whole subject is like, you know, there are a bunch of people who talk bullshit about this whole topic, and there are people who don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, from you, I could really tell that you know what you're talking about, and you have a lot of like I don't know, it's not like you always give one answer to everybody, you know. It's like, okay, this is your situation, this is what you need to do, and you're really good at seeing that. You have this individualistic approach.
So important, man. So key.
Yeah, you're really able to see what people need to work on most. Yeah,
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Malte.
Yes, it's seriously like for me too. One thing, it's the whole not being good enough thing, you know. It's like we talked a little bit, and you're like, you need to work on not being good enough, and I was like, okay. And then my mind went like, oh, I need to work on this, and I need to work on that. And it's always, no, actually, I need to work on not being good enough in this whole situation. And you were able to pinpoint this so incredibly fast. And it's so much right to the point, you know, that all this stuff around it kind of hangs on to not being good enough. And yeah, that was really good.
Huge. Malte, I'm going to give you the last word here. If you could, I want you to speak now to someone who's watching this, who's on the fence, right? They know they need to work on themselves. They know they have blocks in their unconscious mind, but for whatever reason, they're on the fence about doing something about it. What would you say to that individual?
Okay, so yeah, the most important thing you do need is you need feedback. You know, it's not about the information, and it's not about how much you want it to do. And even if you do a lot of work, if you don't have interaction, if you don't have feedback, if you don't have a support group in the whole situation, it's going to be really, really tough. And let's even say that you have so much willpower and are so strong that you would do it all by yourself, and you would be able to figure it all out and go the way by yourself. You would take so much longer. So this is like, I say you won't get there without the help, but even if you would take so much longer. So doing this program will save you so much time, and you will get the money back tenfold, like so many times. It's incredible. And for me, like having like-minded people, you know, being able to talk in this group, it's like the smartest people that I've ever known that I can talk to about this subject, people who support each other. You can always ask for questions and help, and just share your wins, share your struggles and everything. And it has been like the best experience in my life to be part of this whole group. And I'm 100% sure that if you are watching this and if you are on the fence, then I can 100% guarantee you that you should do the program.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
You said that amazingly well.
Thanks.
Malte,
I do really believe it so much in my heart, you know.
Well, I can tell. Yeah, I can tell you're speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
Dude, it has been such a it has been my honor and privilege to work with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm so proud of all the success and the progress you're having.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Malte.
Yeah. Thank you.